But we've seen this roller coaster this year with the Lakers. Where are you with them?
Well, I think it's all about trying to figure out what your roles are. And I think now they're kind of getting settled into what they're supposed to be doing. The week before, Luka had that moment where he should have taken a shot. He hesitated, didn't get a shot off. In a Laker uniform, you're going to get a little bit of criticism, if not a lot, for that. Last night, him taking that shot, I think that shows you the dynamic where they are. He knows he has to take the shots now. Austin Reeves being that #2 guy, and LeBron kind of just filling in the holes at that third role. But that's a hell of a third role to have. You see him diving on the floor now, going for loose balls, being that person to really fill in the holes where they need, like I was saying before, and it seems to be working.
I mean, yeah, you know LeBron real well, Scal. Do we really think that LeBron's embracing that role? As
I mean,
facilitator?
What we see is, I mean, he's a role player. He's always been.
He's a role player.
When you have two guys that can score it, there's always the next guy that has to fill in the gaps. LeBron's an excellent cutter. Even when he was at the peak of his game, he's been an excellent off-ball cutter. But the biggest thing is what they're doing is Luka and Austin Reeves, I think he's getting everyone involved, including DeAndre Ayton. And Ayton looks engaged the entire game. Not just the offensive end where they're throwing lobs or picking and rolling and he's shooting the jumper, but defensively. They're not a good defensive team. They can't guard the ball. But DeAndre Ayton could be an elite shot blocker back there when he's engaged. He was engaged one year. The Phoenix Suns went to the finals. He seems back to that point. And I think Luka, Austin Reeves, and even LeBron, they know what it takes to win. They're going to find what it takes. I think they found something in getting people involved and keeping them engaged so they can guard the way they need to guard enough where you can consider them a championship contender.
And when your big guys engaged, you need that. Like you were saying, they might not be the best team guarding the ball, but if you can funnel everything down into the big fella, he can hopefully clean everything up. Maybe get you some easy points on those pick and rolls, especially with Luka controlling the ball. And more so, it was funny, you were saying LeBron being a role player. He is a role player right now. Because right now, like you were saying, he can cut. He can dribble the ball up sometimes, but he's not going to be the main dominator of the ball right now. That's Austin Reeves' job. That's Luka's job to be the facilitator and the ball handlers on that team.
I mean, you know LeBron well. How tough of a pill do you think that was to swallow? Or at this stage of his career, do you think it was easier for him?
I think it's easier, but at the same time, it's a whole different thing when you actually have to do it. His brain is probably telling him to do certain things, but he's 41 now. He has to find a way to be effective. And you know what makes this Laker team dangerous? If you're seeing them later on in the playoffs, he can still take it to that level and take it back and rewind the clock probably some days, and he might be able to do that for a couple games. So we'll see how that dynamic works.
The problem is it's the Western Conference, and I don't know if you can go through the top 6 teams and say we would pick them to beat whoever their opponent is, right?
Any of the top 6, you're saying, right?
Maybe I think they could beat Houston, but right now they're 3. Minnesota is 6. Minnesota will beat them in a playoff series. So they have to kind of shore up some things. One thing I will give J.J. Redick a lot of credit, because last year when they got Luka and lost Anthony Davis, their defense went to #1 in the NBA. They tried a lot of different things. J.J. Redick is back to doing that, junking up the game, finding different ways to put Luka and LeBron in that center field middle linebacker position where they're commanding everybody and putting guys in the right spot. Their defense has improved, I think, in the last maybe 2 weeks.
Well, they played a lot of zone defense here lately, and that has jumped them up into the top 10, at least if you just go over the last month here. And so, I mean, it sounds like both of you are buying this for the Lakers.
You buy it for right now.
Regular season.
You're hedging your bet, but you're buying
there's
for
only so much you can do when you go against Anthony Edwards. There is no junk defense that could stop a guy like that. And I know they beat Minnesota during this stretch, but the playoffs are different. So there are teams like, right now, Houston to me is a little bit flawed. They haven't found their identity. They're finding it again. But if you look at like the Oklahoma Cities, the San Antonios, you look at, I mean, they might even be able to, I mean, Denver could even beat them. Denver has owned them for a long time. And then to me, it's like the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're sitting there at 6. Like, you don't want to match up with that team.
Yeah, and I think when you get faster and those faster, younger teams, the more competitive teams, they can get up and down. They have a guy like Anthony Edwards who's going to present huge matchup problems. Those are the games, if you're the Lakers, those are the teams that you probably don't want to see. But for right now, they seem to be doing all right.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.